promise keeper, light in the darkness. That is who you are. Wow, waymaker. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I just want you to stand up and praise God and be a waymaker. If He's never made a way for you, just show up and give Him praise and tell Him thank you for being a waymaker. Hallelujah. Okay, you make me say it. Hallelujah. And then let's say it again. Hallelujah. When I say go, I want you to jump on your feet. And I want you to thank the Lord for being a waymaker. I saw some of you do like this. Oh, thank you, Jesus. When you need a way made, and God just opens the door, and you know it's Him. You know it's Him. You know it's nobody else but Him. You should offer up a praise that is radical in your thanksgiving to Him. Like, Lord, God did something for me this summer. And I told the testimony before, but I'm licensed in Indiana. And it was time for me to leave the school that I was at. I think that I had learned everything I was supposed to learn there. And one of the sisters here, Sister Angel, said, why don't you go to a job fair with me? And I said, okay, I'll go to the job fair with you. She's licensed in Illinois, so I just thought this would be good practice. I went with her for good practice. So I went with her for good practice. I'll go on some interviews, I'll go for good practice. I get there, and I see 3 school districts that I have worked for as a consultant. And as I look at each one of the people that are in charge of hiring, these are people that I worked with years ago, and they have been elevated now to a hiring position, right? So I'm still like, well, I'm not licensed in Illinois, so it doesn't matter. I'm just going to practice, So I go and I talk to a lady. I remember her. We were in meetings together, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? I said, yeah. She's like, are you teaching? I said, yeah, sure. But I'm not really licensed in Illinois, so, but after the summer's over, I'll be licensed. I got to do some classes and blah, 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 blah. I got to take some exams. And she says, okay, but go see the licensing work over there and see what she has for me. So I go to the licensing rep. I talk to her for 5 minutes, and she said, send me your license from Indiana. Send me your transcripts. Email them to me. Do you know that not only did I went back to the lady, I said, she said she can do something for me. She said, okay, call her over here. So she calls her over, and she said, did you say that she can do it? She said, okay, listen, I want to interview. I want you to come back to the district on Tuesday, and if they can do what they say, we're going to expedite this. I said, okay. Still don't really believe what's happening is happening. So I go home, that was Friday. On Monday, I mail her my stuff. By Thursday, by Thursday, I had a license in Illinois. True endorsements. If you ever worked in anything in the state of Illinois, you already know that nothing takes 4 days. Nothing takes 4 days to come back from the state. And I just wanted what happened for me, because I knew that I had to take 4 exams to get this license. I knew, this is my point, that when I knew that nobody knew that for me, nobody could put me in that place to sit in front of that person and told me what I didn't know that she could do for me. And already did it to me in 4 days. Hallelujah. I'm talking about spending a whole summer of going to classes. Hallelujah. That God did that for me. So when I say, jump on your feet and praise the Lord as a waymaker, I know Him as a waymaker. When He makes a way, only He can do it. Hallelujah. So you want to get on your feet right now, and He's on the time to bless you. And I want you to praise Him and thank Him for opening the door only for you. Just for you. Hallelujah. Somebody else should thank you. You didn't even know you were called and God sent them. When somebody broke into my house, hallelujah, and I was living in fear every day. I had to keep the lights on because I kept feeling like somebody was going to break in. Hallelujah, hallelujah. And I didn't even think that I needed to move. Hallelujah. But I was just thinking how I'm scared every day. I'm nervous about being here because somebody broke in my house. And I should have been that nervous because all it took was an Xbox. But I was nervous every day. And somebody came to me and they're like, you know what? I think there's a way for you to get some property. I want to open this door for you. Hallelujah. You have to understand that I didn't go seeking this out. Hallelujah. But God sent a person to help me. This is what I'm saying. Like doors that only God can open. Hallelujah. And God opened the opportunity for me. Hallelujah. And I was able to move. Hallelujah. In my own place. Hallelujah. God opened that door for me. Now my story is not over. And because my story is not over, I'm going to pray the next door. You understand what I'm saying? And only He can open. Hallelujah. Somebody got to bring this around here. Oh, I can't give the doors you want to open. I'm just trying to encourage you. For the next few minutes, because I'm getting ready to sit down to give out some people and praise for things that only He can do. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Brings a safety inside of Him. Hallelujah. Let's give our praise for Him. We're blessed in the city, we're blessed in the field, we're blessed when we come and we go. Hallelujah. We cast down every stronghold. Sickness and poverty must cease. The devil is defeated, and we're blessed. Hallelujah. Just before we go into the song, hallelujah, Jesus. Our minstrel was ministering. Hallelujah. Keep playing. Hallelujah. Jesus. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And the fresh wind. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I dare you to tap into what God is doing right here, right now in this moment. Hallelujah. 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 I can hear your voice. Hallelujah. There's a racial place right now. Hallelujah. It's time for you. Hallelujah. It's okay to take a few minutes. You know, it's okay. Take a few minutes to worship. It's okay. It's okay. Like you need to do this at home, like for real. It's okay to give God some praise. With my name on it, there's a breakthrough in this room. And it's here for you. There's a miracle in this room. With my name on it, there's a breakthrough in this room. miracle in this room. With my name on it. There's a breakthrough in this room. And it's here for me. I just want to say that over and over again. You say, there's a miracle in this room. Just keep it with my name on it. There's a breakthrough in this room. There's a breakthrough in this room. That is here for me. Yeah, that's what I'm saying right there. There's a miracle in this room. With my name on it. With my name on it. There's a breakthrough. There's a breakthrough in this room. And it's here for me. 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 Come on. And it's here for me. One more time, there's a miracle. There's a miracle in this room. With my name on it. There's a breakthrough. There's a breakthrough in this room. It's here for me. And it's here for me. Yes, and it's here for me. And it's here for me. Praise Him. And it's here for me. And it's here for me. It's here for me. There's a question that says, so what you gonna do? And the whole show shifts on the question, so what you gonna do? If there's a miracle in the room with your name on it, if there's breakthrough in the room, and see it for you, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Come on, I'm going to put the praise on it. Come on. You better put the praise on it. And it's here, put the praise on it. The praise is a claim, it's a state, it's saying it's mine. Hallelujah. 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 This is Jackie, let's bring it. Someone put a praise on it. Someone put a praise on it. Come on and say it with me. Someone put a praise on it. Oh, sing out hallelujah. Someone put a praise on it. Hallelujah. Oh, say it again. Someone put a praise on it. Praise on it. Whatever it is. If you need healing, if you need deliverance, if you need salvation, hallelujah, praise on it. Praise on it. Let's give it out some praise.
But he's worthy, he's worthy, he's worthy, he's worthy, he's worthy. Hallelujah. He is worthy to be praised. We are so honored and privileged and thankful to the Lord. Amen. Just for your presence here this morning. We thank God. Amen. For all of you and your commitment. Amen. To coming and making a difference. And we had a wonderful time on our march, our community event yesterday. We are thankful to God and we appreciate you. I have been more proud of Victorious Living. Amen. And I was. Amen. Yesterday and the week leading up to this event. Amen. You guys have always shown yourself to be very hospitable and caring and giving. But you have gone overboard, amen, to express the greatness of God and the strength of your salvation. We're so thankful to see what God has done and how you know God's going to keep on. This morning, when we're still standing, we're going to read a few scriptures and we'll talk to you on the theme, wait for it. Just wait for it, wait for it. But Josh, you just move on, just a little. Wait for it, wait for it. I was thinking a little bit different from the sermon here this morning is that the Bible says, in your patience, possess ye your souls. Sometimes the reason why folk don't get what God has for them is not that God won't do it. It's not that God hasn't made promises. It's not that God can't fulfill it. The problem sometimes is that we're not willing to wait. Hallelujah. Sometimes impatience is a problem, even in the life of a believer. Because even the Christian nowadays want it right now. They're saying, God, want it right now. And God is saying, wait for it. Hallelujah. I just stop by to tell somebody here in the break time here this morning what you've been waiting for. God's ready to open up that door. God's going to show himself strong and mighty. There's some things you don't have to do. But if you just wait on, just high five somebody, say, just wait on it. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait on it. Don't get in a hurry. Don't get impatient. Don't go running ahead of God. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We got 3 slides here for scriptures. Come on, Josh, put them on there. Habakkuk chapter number 1. Habakkuk chapter 1, verses 1 and 2. Let's read together the burden. The burden of thy did cease. O Lord, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee with violence, and thou wilt not save. Next slide, chapter 2. I stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Next slide. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon the tables, that he may run and read it. Next slide, verse number 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. Paul, tell somebody, it's going to speak. It's going to speak. Read. Though it tarry, there it is. There it is. Because he will surely come, it will not tarry. Wait for it. Last slide, chapter 3, verse 19. The Lord God is my strength, and he will make my feet like hinds feet, and he will make me to walk on my eyes. Hallelujah. Look at somebody as you grab their hand, just tell them, just wait, just wait, just wait. You ain't seen nothing yet, just wait, just wait, just wait. I know you're in a little struggle, but just wait. I know you're in a little battle, but just wait. I know you have some questions, some issues, but just wait, just wait, just wait. Just wait for it, just wait for it. Don't be no weary and well doing it. Just wait, just wait, just wait. We've made room for the night, but joy is coming along. Just wait, just wait. They that wait upon the Lord shall be moving in the spirit. Just wait, just wait. Just a little bit longer, just a little bit longer, just a little bit longer. Just wait, Father, in the name of Jesus, we ask you today to settle your spirit of your people, God. Settle their confidence in you, Lord God. Settle, God, the behavior, Lord God, so that the backstory does not come into the front story, Lord God. Cause us to hear, God, your voice speaking, even at a whisper, Lord God. Help us to have the confidence and the understanding that he that waits upon the Lord shall be renewed, God. Help us to trust in your plan, God, when we don't see what's going on, God. Help us not to be frustrated by what our eyes are currently seeing, Lord God. Help us, hallelujah, Lord God, to call on the name of Jesus, because we recognize there is power, strength, and authority in that name, God. Hallelujah. Help us to know who we are in you, God. Hallelujah. We're tired of walking around ignorant, acting as if God is not our God, acting as if we're paupers when you call us to be possessors of the land, God, acting as if God we're poor when you say that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world that we that dwell therein, and we are your people, the sheep of your pasture. You know what we have need of you before we ask, God. Hallelujah. All we have to do is begin to claim the name that you said, God, belongs to us, God. To hold on, God, and we'll receive what you're going to do, Lord God. We're going to receive the promises that is coming to pass. So God, this morning, help us to wait for it. We will not cast away our confidence, for it has great recompense of reward. For you have need of patience, and after you have done the will of God, you may be able to patiently wait for it, because he that spoke a word will bring that word to pass. He that declared a thing will finish the thing. He who started the work in you is faithful to finish what he started. Hallelujah. So you may wait for it. It's coming to pass in Jesus' name. Amen. You can see it. Habakkuk is the last minor prophet who writes to the southern kingdom of Judah before the Babylonian captivity that comes to pass a few years later in 606 BC. The very name Habakkuk means embrace. And when you understood that when you read the book of Habakkuk, you read the 3 chapters, you can understand maybe just that while it comes to pass as being embraced, it could stand the reason that maybe God has destined Habakkuk, maybe He's destined him to be able to wrestle with, to grapple with some things in his own life, to deal with his own struggles, because he needed to understand the struggles of the people. He needed to understand the difficulties of the time in which he lived. And so maybe when it talks about the name embrace, Habakkuk means embrace, maybe it's because God had destined him to be able to embrace the issues of his day. And we understand that when you read chapter number 1, verse number 1, it opens up with these words: the burden that Habakkuk, the prophet, is seeing. In other words, Habakkuk embraced the challenges of the day, but he didn't embrace the culture or their philosophy. He was sympathetic to their struggle, but he was not accepting of their sins, but he embraced. Maybe the second point, it could be understood from the name Habakkuk, to embrace. Maybe it could be understood from the standpoint of heaven. It is that in God, who begins to embrace Habakkuk from the heights of heaven. And so Habakkuk is grappling with his own issues. Sometimes y'all understand crisis come up. Y'all do know that, right? Sometimes we need crisis management, because things happen, and when crisis come up, sometimes if you're not careful, you might find yourself to be a little squeamish in the middle of the crisis. Is there anybody ever had a crisis that came up in your life and you didn't know what to do and how to deal with it, how to address the issue, and so you find yourself kind of squeamishly going through the issues and the challenges here, because you and especially if you've not been in this type of a situation here before, can I tell you, it could mess with your faith. It could challenge you. It could mess with you in a way that cause you to have some questions and have some questions that you need to have answered of God. And so if we read the story of Habakkuk, chapters 1, 2, and 3, and if you listen a little closely, you might hear a small glimpse of Habakkuk's own self coming out. You might discover that Habakkuk has some issues. He has some moments of doubt and some times of desperation. I know we go to this book and we only pick up that chapter 2, sometimes a good thing here, but I need you to understand that before we got to the second chapter, which is the middle of his writing, there was some issues that was going on. In fact, Habakkuk has been known by some historians as the doubting Thomas of the Old Testament. Yeah. And so he has some moments where he's desperate and some moments where he's doubtful. And in his desperation and in his doubt, it causes him to question the very nature of God and to ask God some questions about, as he would say in my words, about the indolent behavior that God is expressing, because God is not seeming like he is going to deal with the issue of the day. Because he is saying to God, when are you going to deal with the great justice to the people who are wicked? You know, sometimes even now today, sometimes folk got questions and they're trying to figure out, God, what are you doing with all the wicked folk? And so Habakkuk was struggling, and here comes the words in the second verse of Habakkuk. It says, "O Lord, how long shall I cry?" I tend to believe that Habakkuk is not the only person. Just bring it down just a little bit. I tend to believe that he's not the only person who has ever had these type of questions about their faith, questions about their life, questions about the plan of God for their life. Y'all remember John the Baptist, don't you? John the Baptist, the forerunner of Jesus, the one who said, "Behold the Lamb that taketh away the sins of the world," the one whose shoe latches I am not even worthy to bend down to untie them. He is the Messiah, the Savior of the world. But when John got locked up in prison, he sent word back to Jesus and said to him, "Hey, I need to know in this situation, in this time, this moment in my life, are you the one, or do we look for somebody else?" Because you can go through some stuff in there, some things that will cause you to have some questions. I'm not talking to anybody here this morning. Y'all remember Elijah, that great prophet, that powerful prophet, that prophet who stood on Mount Horeb, and he stood toe to toe with 400 other prophets, and he stood there, and he was relentless in his behavior. He did not flinch, he did not move, and he stood there and said, "The God who answers by fire, that's God." The prophets of Baal and the prophets of the Asherah, they said, no, your God is not God. We serve the one God. And so from morning to evening, they cried out unto their God, and they cut themselves unto their God. And nothing they did moved their God, because he was only a God in their mind and in their writing, but he was not a God. And so they did all these things. They're saying, "God, show up. God, we need you. Oh, Baal." And Baal never moved, because Baal doesn't exist. Baal died a long time ago, and he was still in his grave. When they got done, Elijah said, "Are you finished?" Elijah stepped up and said, "Are you really done now? You finished? You finished? You cut yourself, you screamed, you cried, you hollered, nothing happened, nothing moved." He said, "Step aside." Elijah then builds an altar to God. He puts a sacrifice on the altar. He dashes the sacrifice with water, gallons and gallons of water. And then he steps back and he looks up to heaven and he says, "God of heaven, show yourself." And with direct precision, a lightning bolt came from heaven and hit the altar with direct precision. It went right the way it was supposed to go and consumed the entire offering and the sacrifice, lifted up all the water, and did everything that God said it was going to do. And then when the false prophets saw that, the Bible says they started running, they fled. Because you can't stand in the presence of God when God really shows up like who he really is. And they ran, and God said, "Go, kill everyone and slay every false prophet." They've been speaking lies and take all of them out. And one prophet goes up against 400 prophets and wins the battle when God sends the fire. And then he also chases them down and kills them and leaves the battle victorious. Hallelujah. But then a woman, Jezebel, sends him a message and says to him, "The same way you did that which you did to the prophets on tomorrow, the same thing you did is about to happen to you." And this massive prophet, this man of God, this one who has seen the hand of God who worked miraculously, he went and ran and hid himself in the bush. And he was asking himself basically the question, he was saying, "God, are you able to keep me?" Are you able to keep me? Remember now, this is the same one who just a few days before here, he even walked up and he said to Ahab, listen, I hear the sound of the abundance of rain. Before I move on to anything deeper, I want to tell you, when I start talking to God about this, God said, I want you to tell the people, I hear the sound. Just let your neighbor say, can you hear it? Can you hear it? Can you hear it? There is a sound that's getting ready to break out over your life. There's a sound that's ready to happen in your world. There's a sound. What sound is the sound of the abundance of rain? I know you've been in the drought. I know you've been in the season where things didn't happen. I know you've been in a time where you were asking God a whole lot of questions and it looked like God was blessing everybody else around you, but not you. But tell your neighbor, but I hear a sound. A sound. What are you hearing? The abundance of rain. Wait for it. It's about to happen in your life. Wait for it. So here we have Elijah. He has his own set of questions. And y'all remember Gideon in the 6th chapter of Judges, the Bible says that the angel of the Lord comes and have a conversation with Gideon. And he says to Gideon, "O thou great man of valor." Oh, thou great man of valor. The problem is Gideon is hiding. He's trying to hide and store up food because the Midianites are coming in and taking all their food. And there's a famine in the land. And Gideon's not feeling that well. He's not feeling that great. And he's a little bit hungry. They're trying to keep things here together. And nothing is happening. And the world that was wicked seemed like they're proliferating and getting bigger and better and stronger. And Gideon gets an angel visit and he says to him, "You are mighty man of valor." And Gideon has a question because you can't talk to a person who has questions when they've not seen what they say they heard God say. You can't tell somebody they're mighty when they feel really mighty. You can't tell them they're great when they don't feel greatness. And so Gideon asks us a question. He says, "So wherein are all the miracles that our forefathers told us?" We heard a whole lot of stories and we heard a whole lot of talk of miracles, but we ain't seen nothing. I know there's some folk in here just like that this morning. He said, "I heard a whole lot about what God could do, but I ain't seen much about what God." I wonder if there's going to be truthful folk in the house of the Lord. And you say, "But God, I heard how you moved mountains, and I heard how you made ways, and I heard how you opened up doors, but I want to know, can you do it in this generation? Can you do it for me? You done it for my mama, my daddy, my grandparents, but can you do it for me?" And Gideon said, "Where are all the miracles and signs and the things that we heard of?" But he just had to wait because it was about to happen. Yes. So you just gotta wait. Just gotta wait. See, I know you in your own situation, going through all your own stuff here, but you gotta understand, all you need to do is wait, because I believe you're the next in line for a miracle. Who just said that? You're the next in line. Tell your neighbor, you're next in line for a miracle. Yeah, you're next. It's coming. And it's coming sooner than you think. It's happening faster. Hallelujah! It's coming. So Habakkuk is told basically he's got to wait on God. And so here comes the issue, because Habakkuk chapter number 2, we read to chapter 1, chapter 2, is really God's response to Habakkuk's second question, his second set of questions to God. He ends the first chapter with some more questions, because when you have questions to God, you generally have probably more than one question. So Habakkuk asks God a series of questions. God begins to answer them, and now he asks him more questions, because sometimes when God answers only create more questions. Yeah, some of y'all live long enough to live that out. Sometimes the answer that God gives only gives room for more questions. And so God answers his question, and Habakkuk has more questions. And the questions serve as the basis for Habakkuk's confusion. It serves as the basis for his doubt, because he had two questions, just two questions. But these two questions were enough questions to make him question his relationship with God. That's a lot of questions in that question. Two questions, but these two questions was enough questions to cause him to have a spirit of unrest in himself. His soul was unrested. He had things that caused him to be a little wavering. And here are the two questions that Habakkuk primarily had. Number one, his question was, how could a just God allow sin to go unchecked and unpunished for so long? Even when it's the sin in his own people. You did it again. How in the world could you, who are a just God, allow sin to go so long unchecked in the wicked as well as in the righteous? I know, I'm in trouble because the church folk will tell y'all that y'all don't sin. There's no sin in us. I wish that wasn't true, but I know better. There are those of you who are here right now, you did more than still in the cookie job. Yeah. I heard you took the whole cookie job. There's some who did more than, you know what. How many of y'all drive the expressway? How many of you drive the expressway? Leave you alone. Leave you alone. And y'all saw that sign. It's in black and white, right? You saw the sign. It's in black and white. It's so many kilometers in between, and then there's another sign, and the second sign usually says the same thing as the first sign, unless you enter into a different type of area where residential care, and then sometimes that sign says it's a little lower, or sometimes it's a little higher. It doesn't matter what the sign says. Because y'all ain't obeying it anyway. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Let me see the hands of those who drive 55 miles an hour when it's 55 miles state. No, not 55 when it's 30. No, not 55. Yeah. Because sometimes culture has a way of trumping the law. The law is what the law is, but culture says I don't have to obey that. And some of y'all had the gall to tell a man when he pulled you over, I was just going with the flow of traffic. I was in flow with traffic. And so I thought you were like, why are you picking on me? Because he had to pick one of the 7 of y'all, and you just got. Habakkuk said, Lord, you're a just God, and I need to know why is it that you're allowing all this sin to go unchecked? God, you letting unrighteous folk, you letting wicked folk continue to get by, and you're a just God. Because in this day we're saying like this, I don't understand how God will allow so much wickedness. Why would a just God let folk who are good die early? Is this the same question? Same question. Why are you letting all this stuff go? That's question number 1. The second question that Habakkuk had is he wanted to know how, or maybe even why, would God allow a wicked people to rise up above the just people and then use the wicked people to judge the just people? Habakkuk said that just don't seem fair. How many of y'all can say that just don't seem fair? It just don't seem right that you can do that kind of stuff. It's just not fair. And so Habakkuk was struggling with this stuff, and it really messed him up. Have you ever had a time where you were in the face of God dealing with some things and it really messed you up? I mean, some things just kind of mess with your faith, mess with what you believe. There are some times when you had a sense that you believed some things and you was confident in some things, and then all of a sudden something happened, and the thing that you once were sure in, now you have questions about. Yes. Yeah. Habakkuk said this isn't fair. It isn't good for God to do these things here. And can I tell you, isn't it just like us to always want God to bring immediate justice to the people who have done wrong? Isn't it just like us to always want God to initiate quick punishment God sway the gavel hard on them because they don't understand anything, and you need to deal with them, God. But when it comes to us, we don't want God to be as quick to pronounce judgment on us as we want him to pronounce judgment on somebody else. But here's what Habakkuk understood. Here's what he learned in the middle of that. He understood that the scripture says that, let me give it to me so I do it right. Where's it at? But the scripture says that in his wrath, God remembers mercy. In his wrath. See, all y'all who said, thank you, Lord, y'all understood that you need some mercy, some grace. Hallelujah. In his wrath, he remembers mercy. I am so glad that God is not always so swift to move as quickly as we would want him to move. Because if he moves so fast in one, he needs to move so fast for all. And all of us are guilty. If he moves so quickly in one, then that means he got to move so fast in your house. If he handles somebody else's kids so quickly, he's got to handle your kids so quickly. But God gives us all mercy. He allows us time and space to repent. He allows us time and space to get it right. He allows us time and space to say, I'm sorry. Somebody right now, you're going to go home and tell somebody you're sorry. I know I'm talking the truth. You ought to make the phone call. In fact, I'll give you permission right now. Pick up your cell phone and text the words, I'm sorry. It'll shock the person on the other side. They're like, what in the world just happened to you? I'm sorry. You just need to send a text, send a message, and tell them, I'm sorry, I was wrong, I was mistaken. Because you need to know the same way you need mercy, they need mercy. Yes. Habakkuk got messed up because God wasn't answering like he thought he should answer. God wasn't moving like he thought he should move. And God was giving space to people to change their ways. And he was saying, this ain't right, God. This ain't fair, God. How are you going to allow that to happen and to continue? And so Habakkuk gets here. Let me slide my thing right there so I can stay on point. So he's struggling with his faith. He's struggling with the timing of God. He's struggling, trying to figure out how he's going to maintain what he has in God. He's struggling with everything that's going on in his life, and stuff is staring him square in the face, and it's overwhelming him. Have you ever been there? When you're struggling to hold on, but the fact of the matter is what's messing with you. The stuff is staring you in the face, and Habakkuk cries out one more time to God. Somebody said one more time. One more time. Yeah, one more time. I did say one more time, didn't I? He cries out one more time, not one last time. See, the problem with some of y'all is you cry out, you say, God, this is the last time I'm going to do this. No. You got to cry out one more time, not one last time. You're not that great that you can give God an ultimatum and say, I'm going to give you one last shot. That might be your last shot. God is a daddy. He does know how to take off his belt. So you gotta give God one more time. Somebody should say one more time. One more opportunity, not one last opportunity to show up and show you who he really is. Habakkuk cries out one more time to God, and he says to God, do you hear me? Are you listening? I need to know what's going on. He then pleads with God. He says, Lord, look at all the violence in the streets. Yes. Will you answer? He said, evil deeds are increasing. Injustice is on the rise. And read the further part of that first chapter, you'll see what I'm saying. He said, we are surrounded with people who love to argue and to fight. He continues his complaint. He says, even the law is wicked. The law has become paralyzed, and there is no justice in the court. God, I thought he was writing today's time. I would almost swear I was reading 2019. He said, the righteous have become outnumbered and the justice has become perverted. God, what are you going to do? He says, so I cry out to you because even in my questions, I know where my help comes from. Even in my discouragement, I know that you're the answer to the problem. I know that you can change this situation. And so he's asking God, will you save? Somebody say, yes, he will.
Yes, he will.
Will you deliver? Somebody say, yes, he will. Will you make a way? Somebody say, yes, he will. And so chapter 2 opens up with God beginning to answer Habakkuk's question when he left in chapter number 1. And he questions God some more things about his faith and his fear, his doubt, and moves to the point when God answers him and he says these things to him. I know you're fearful. I know you doubt. I know you got some issues. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to stand upon your watch. So Habakkuk said, I'm going to stand upon my watch. Did y'all hear me? I'm going to stand upon my watch. And I'm going to wait to see what he's going to say to me.
Yeah.
What would Habakkuk be saying to you on the day? He'll be saying that if you are a worshiper, I want you to go back to worship. I know you got some questions. I know you got some doubts. I know you got some issues. But worshipers understand that the best way to get God to move and to hear God is to get in the place that God called you to. The problem is you trying to move God and God saying you don't need to move. You're trying to get an answer from God and God saying, you know, answers come when you get in your right place. The problem is you out of place. Worshipers are worship. Any worshipers in the house? Yeah. Put your hand up. Put it up real high. Worshiper. When you need to answer, you need to answer certain questions. Worshipers worship. Yeah. Intercessors. Let me say intercessors. Intercessors. Hand the intercessors. Intercessors. What should you be doing? Praying. Praying. Intercessors are to pray. Intercessors. Intercessors. Pray. Pray. Worshipers worship. Intercessors pray. If you are a praiser, what should you be doing? I know praise is not a word in the dictionary, but if you are a praiser, you ought to pray. If you're a praiser, you ought to give him some praise. Hallelujah. I'm going to stand on my watch and wait to see what he's going to say to me and how he speaks. And if he reproves me, I'm going to be reproved, but I'm going to be doing what I was called to do. Because you need to do what you've been called to do. When you have questions, get back in your place of doing what God called you to do. Because when you get out of place, that's when the devil gets you. See, when you understand this, because maybe you've not been in the presence of God doing what God called you to do. But if you get back in your place, you'll get a word from God. And can I tell you, when Habakkuk got in his place, he got a word from God. And boy, did he get a word. He said to him, Habakkuk, write the vision and make it plain. He says, write it. Can I tell you that the next time you have some questions and some doubts here and some issues that's going on in your life, and you really want to know what God is saying, what God is going to do, the next time you bring that thing back to God again and God answers, write it down. Tell you to write it down. You need God to do an answer, to send an answer, do something, write it down. If you got a question, write the question down even and bring it to God and let God answer. God is not afraid of your question. God's not afraid of your questions. God can handle you with questions. Your neighbor say, write it down. Write it down. God answers and God says to him, listen, Habakkuk, write the vision and make it plain. Habakkuk, write the vision and make it plain. Saints of God, write the vision. God has already told you some things about what he is going to do, and you need to write it down. Why do you have to write it down? Because sometimes you tend to forget. Sometimes you tend to forget what God told you. How many of you know I'm telling the truth? But when you write it down, you can refer back to it. When you write it down, you can recall that thing so that you can remember, so the next time you're struggling, you can go back and say, but this is what God said. Write it down, write the vision, make it plain, but don't just write it down. Write it down so somebody else can buy into the vision, somebody else can see the vision, somebody else can run with the vision, somebody else can remind you about what God told you. Write it down. Make it plain and put it on tables so the runners, the heralds can run with that thing here and then begin to announce in the world, here comes God. I'm trying to tell somebody here, I know you've been waiting on something, but look, I'm your herald this morning, and I'm telling you, here comes God. Hallelujah. The thing that God promised is on its way. If you wait for it, it's on its way. If you've been waiting and you've been waiting and you've been waiting, then God sent me here to tell you that the thing that you've been waiting for, He's getting ready to answer. Here it comes. Hallelujah. It's been written down already. Here it comes. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And this thing got so sweet to Habakkuk. He's like, wow, God. He said, but the Bible begins to say that all the earth is going to see the glory of the Lord. And all mankind is going to see the strength of God. Wait a minute. Chapter 1, he starts out with a question. How long, God? Chapter 2, he's getting energized. God's going to show up. God's going to show up, not just show up. God's going to show His glory and His grace and His strength and His might and His mercy. And God's going to move. And then he says, not only that God's going to give me the strength, like the strength of a hind's feet. He goes from questioning God. God, when you going to do it? When you going to show up? This ain't quite fair. This ain't quite right. God, I don't understand what you're doing. God, I thought I knew you. I don't know anything about you. God, you letting wicked folk do stuff that they shouldn't be doing. God, I don't get this. This just ain't making no sense to me, God. When are you going to move? Do you hear me, God? Are you ever going to answer? God, are you ever going to show up? Are you ever going to move this mountain? Are you ever going to answer my prayer? Are you ever going to make the difference? Are you going to straighten out my house? Are you going to straighten out my home? Are you going to straighten out my finances? Are you going to correct my kids? Are you going to show mercy and grace? God, are you going to answer it? Are you going to win it? God, am I really here? Am I wasting my time? He goes from questions to questions to questions to faith, to believing, to writing a new vision, to realizing and understanding that the old vision I had was wrong, that I needed to get a new vision, that I need to get some new faith, that I need to get some more information, some more knowledge, and then I need to learn how to trust in the Lord. Turn to Him and trust God.
Trust God.
Just trust Him. Just trust God. Even when you don't have all the answers, trust God. Even when you can't see how God's going to move, trust God. If you trust Him, He'll show up. And he started trusting God and believing God and listening to God. And then he started getting the strength that he needed to fight the good fight. And all of a sudden, he said, I am strong now. Wait, not just strong. I don't just feel like rising up. I feel like leaping. I don't feel like just barely moving through. I feel like praising God. I feel like worshiping God. I feel like magnifying God. I feel like blessing God. I feel like shining from the mountaintop. Praise the Lord. He's worthy to be praised. I feel like taking on some truths and keeping on some walk. I feel like telling the devil, come on. Bring it on. Let's fight. Let's do some battle, some serious battles about to come to your kingdom. He said, I got my strength back. I got my help back. I got my confidence back. I got the name of the Lord on my side. Who shall be against me if God is for me? He said, oh, no. This is not the same Habakkuk who was questioning all the things here about God. This is not the doubter. This is the believer. And as I close, I hope I close not to the doubter, but to the believer. To the one who said, I'm not going to be entangled again with the same stuff I was entangled again before because fear has stepped in. But I'm going to hold on to what you've given me. I'm going to hold on to your promises, God. I'm going to believe you for everything you promised me. And I declare even as we walked yesterday that we're taking back territory in the name of Jesus. I decree and declare it. Hallelujah. Every place that I put tread upon, that we're claiming it in the name of the Lord. We're moving forth, hallelujah, believing that he that shall come will come. His reward is with him. He will not tarry. He said, but if he does tarry, wait for it. Because if it looks like it's delayed, delay is not denied. It shall come to pass. Write it. Why? It's going to come to pass. It's about to happen in your life. It's going to show itself. Though it tarry, wait for it. Tell me, wait for it. Stand on your feet. Wait for it. Wait for it. God's about to turn it around. In the name of Jesus. He's turning it around. Hallelujah. That miracle you've been waiting for. That blessing that you've been crying out to the Lord for. Wait for it. Don't lose your confidence. Don't lose your hope. Don't lose your strength. Just wait. Don't get impatient. Don't get in a great hurry. Just wait. If you wait on the Lord and be of good courage, he's going to strengthen your heart. He's going to show up like he said he will. He has never lied. In fact, he's not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man that he should repent. If he spoke it, he'll bring it to pass. Hallelujah. Wait for it. You were praying for your children, your grandchildren for a long time. And you're saying, God, do you hear me? Yes. God, can you fix it? It looks like the enemy is rapidly moving in their life from good to bad to worse. Your expectation was they'll get better, but it looks like they get bitter and worse. But if you put the word in them, train up your children in the way they should go, God said, I have a way of bringing that thing to pass. That the righteousness of the light that shines in you is going to shine brighter and brighter. The light of God's word and love is getting ready to shine on your life. Hallelujah. Wait for it. Some of you having some financial struggles. And you're saying, God, I don't know how I'm going to make it through. I don't know what I'm going to do. You've been struggling for so long. And I don't mean no harm, but part of your struggle is because you haven't had the faith to believe God. The Bible says, give and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. You're cutting off your own blessing because you're still stingy and cheap and holding on, and you won't even trust God with 10 cents. And God gives you opportunity and time to trust Him and believe Him, and then you go back to doing it your own way. And that doesn't mean that you won't have some challenges and struggles, but David said, I was young and now old, I've never seen the righteous forsaken. Yes. I've never seen the seed beg for bread. God always provides and makes the way. You can trust Him. Some of you say, God, I'm getting old. I've been by myself a long time. Getting tired, Lord. Don't go out there and make no mess. You're going to step out there and get something on your own and you're going to wish to God. You're praying now, but you're going to really pray later on. Like, God, get me out of this mess. I don't know what I did. Just wait. Wait for it. You can jump and run from a job to another job and you just made a mess of it. Just wait. God God knows how to bless you and prosper you in the place where you are at.
Hallelujah.
Just wait. Just wait. In your patience, possession your soul. Just wait. Give it to Jesus. And I'm talking to you. Whatever it is, whatever situation you find yourself in, give it to Jesus. You've been carrying that thing long enough. Give it to Jesus. Not only can he handle it, he wants to handle it. Give it to Jesus. Every weight, every care, every burden, every frustration, all your dreams, all your hopes, aspirations, give it to Jesus. And he will answer. Father, we thank you right now. By your Spirit, moving your people right now. Their faith is being built and strengthened. Their confidence is rising in you. Help them to give you every burden, to cast all of their cares upon you, knowing that you care for them. Give them the confidence to know that they can do all things in Christ who strengthens them. Now there's nothing in front of them that together you cannot handle. Like their dreams, even for our young people, their dreams are becoming that area of expertise that they're moving forward in. God, you can bring that to pass. You will favor them with the people that will make the doors open on their behalf. As they trust you, help us to hold on to what you spoke and said, to trust you for bigger and greater things, for it shall come to pass. In Jesus' name, amen. Let's give God some praise.